celebration, which is our drama camp showcase. This year we did something brand new, and it was a learning experience for all of us, doing summer drama camp. During this camp, our participants played drama games, they learned improvisation exercises, and worked on the presentations that you're going to see today. We also have, in case you have family members that couldn't make it and you'd like to catch up, we have McFarland cable taping today. This will be available next week on their channel as well as their YouTube site. So like their YouTube site, they always do the sporting events and the events here at the library. It's nice to have them covering today's presentations. So we broke these up into 3 different groups. And we're going to start with our K through 2 group. And our K through 2 group is our kindergartners, kids who have finished kindergarten and on up. I have one that is going in. As part of their drama camp experience, these students built puppets, which was a fun experience to build our own puppets. And after building these puppets, we then broke into groups, and with the guidance of my wonderful teen volunteers, they put together pantomime plays for you to see. So our very first one, if they'll come over and get their puppets, is the 3 Billy Goats Gruff. So my 3 Billy Goats Gruff friends, come on over and get your puppets. Of course, we retold the 3 Billy Goats Gruff. It is now 3 unicorns with a Jeffy and Bugs Bunny guarding the bridge. And I have my helper, Avery, who's going to be telling the story as they pantomime.
But sadly, their field was now brown. They were very hungry. In the distance, they could see a field that was full of lush, sweet, yummy grass. But alas, there was only one way to get to it, over a rickety bridge over a stream. But under the bridge lived a terrifically terrifying, terrible troll called Jeffy and his pet Bugs Bunny. They were always hungry too, and there was nothing they liked better than to eat a nice, juicy unicorn. The little unicorn was the first to reach the bridge. Gingerly, she put one hoof and then another onto the bridge, but because it was so rickety, however hard she tried, her hoofs still went trip-trap on the wooden planks. Suddenly, there was a huge roar. "Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?" Now from under the bridge came Jeffy and Bugs Bunny. Quaking in her hooves, little unicorn managed to squeak, "It's only me. I'm only going to look for some grass eat." "Oh, no, you're not. I'm going to eat you for my breakfast, lunch, and tea." "Oh, no," said terrified little unicorn. "I'm just a little unicorn. Why did you wait for my sister? She's bigger than me and much tastier." So Jeffy decided to wait, and little unicorn skipped over the bridge and began to eat the fresh green grass on the other side. Medium unicorn went down to the bridge and began to cross the stream. Trip-trap went her hooves. Again, Jeffy and Bugs Bunny loomed out from under the bridge. "Who's that trip-tapping over my bridge?" they roared. Quaking in her hooves, medium unicorn managed to say in her softest voice, "It's only me. I'm following my sister, little unicorn, so I can eat the sweet green grass." "Oh, no, you're not. I'm going to eat you for my breakfast, lunch, and tea." "Oh, no, you wouldn't want to eat me. I'm not big enough to fill you up. Wait until my big sister comes along. She's much tastier than me." "Oh, all right," said Jeffy. And medium unicorn scampered over the bridge and began to eat the sweet green grass to fill the unicorn. Big unicorn boldly started to cross the bridge. Trip-trap. Suddenly, Jeffy and Bugs Bunny loomed up from under the bridge. "Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?" they boomed. "It's me, Big Unicorn. Who do you think you are? I'm Jeffy, and I'm going to eat you for breakfast, lunch, and tea." "Oh, no, you're not." "Oh, yes, I am. You'll see." Jeffy rushed at Big Unicorn, who bent her head and bravely charged at the man. With her horn, she tossed them into the stream below. They disappeared down the stream, never to be seen again. From then on, anyone could cross the bridge and enjoy the sweet baby discs.
And my friends, you get to take your puppets with you, because you get to keep those puppets that you made. We had a total of, I think, 6 unicorns made this year. It was a very popular choice on there. All right. Our next story is a retelling of The 3 Little Bears, with a couple of new characters taking on roles. And one of the things you'll notice is some of my teens are helping me out with some of the characters. Some kids weren't able to make it today, so they just hop right in and take on some of the roles. So we have Felicia stepping in to play Cinderella. Or Christy, sorry. I'm sorry. Siblings. And Annie's going to be doing this story. She directed these.
Once upon a time, there were 3 bears who lived in a house in the forest. There was a father bear, a mother bear, and a baby bear. One morning, their breakfast porridge was too hot to eat, so they decided to go for a walk in the forest. While they were out, a little girl called Cinderella came through the trees with her pet unicorn and found their house. She knocked on the door, and as there was no answer, she went inside. In front of her was a table with 3 chairs, 1 large chair, 1 middle-sized chair, and 1 small chair. On the table there were 3 bowls of porridge, 1 large bowl, 1 middle-sized bowl, and 1 small bowl, and 3 spoons. Cinderella and her unicorn were very hungry, and the porridge looked good, so she sat in a great big chair, picked up the large spoon, and tried some of the porridge from the big bowl. But the chair was very big and very hard, the spoon was heavy, and the porridge was hot. They jumped off quickly and went over to the middle-sized chair. But this chair was far too soft, and when they tried the porridge from the
asked her friend if she could go visit the princess, as it had been a while since they'd seen each other.
That's a good idea, her friend the elephant said, so they packed a nice lunch for little pink unicorn to take to the princess. Remember, go straight to the princess's house, the elephant cautioned. Don't run along the way and please don't talk to strangers. The woods are dangerous.
Don't worry, elephant, said the little pink unicorn. I'll be careful. But when little pink unicorn noticed some lovely flowers in the woods, she forgot her promise to the elephant. She picked a few, watched the butterflies flit around for a while, listened to the frogs croaking, and then picked a few more. Little pink unicorn was enjoying the warm summer day so much that she didn't notice a dark shadow approaching her from the forest behind her.
Suddenly, the evil spikeball appeared beside her. What are you doing out here, little girl? The evil spikeball asked in a voice as friendly as he could muster.
I'm on my way to see the princess who lives through the forest near the brook, little pink unicorn replied. Then she realized how late she was and excused herself quickly, rushing down the path to the princess's house.
The evil spikeball, in the meantime, took a shortcut. The evil spikeball, a little out of breath from running, arrived at the princess's and knocked lightly at the door.
Oh, thank goodness, dear. Come in, come in. I was worried sick that something had happened to you in the forest, said the princess, thinking that the knock was the little pink unicorn.
The spikeball let himself in. Poor princess didn't have time to say another word before the spikeball gobbled her up.
The evil spikeball let out a satisfied burp and then poked through the princess's wardrobe to find a nightgown that he liked. He added a frilly sleeping cap and for good measure dabbed some of the princess's perfume behind his pointy ears.
A few minutes later, little pink unicorn knocked on the door. The spikeball jumped into bed and pulled the covers over his nose. Who is it? He called in a cackly voice.
It's me, little pink unicorn.
Oh, how lovely. Do come in, my dear.
When little pink unicorn entered the little cottage, she could scarcely recognize the princess. Princess, your voice sounds so odd. Is something the matter?
Oh, I just have a touch of a cold, squeaked the evil spikeball, adding a cough at the end to prove the point.
But princess, what big ears you have, said the little pink unicorn as she edged closer to the bed.
The better to hear you with, my dear, replied the evil spikeball.
But princess, what big eyes you have, said little pink unicorn.
The better to see you with, my dear, replied the spikeball.
But princess, what big teeth you have, said little pink unicorn, her voice quivering slightly.
The better to eat you with, my dear, roared the spikeball, and he leapt out of bed and began to chase the little unicorn.
Little pink unicorn ran across the room, through the door, shouting, "Help! Spikeball!" as loud as she could. A woodsman who was chopping logs nearby heard her cry and ran towards the cottage as fast as he could. He grabbed the evil spikeball and made him spit out the poor princess, who was a bit frazzled by the whole experience, but still in one piece. Oh, princess, I was so scared, sobbed little pink unicorn. I'll never speak to strangers or dawdle in the chorus ever again.
There, child, you've learned an important lesson. Thank goodness you shouted loud enough for this kind woodsman to hear you.
The woodsman knocked out the wolf and carried him deep into the forest where he wouldn't bother people any longer.
The little pink unicorn and the princess had a nice lunch and a long chat.
All right, that was our K through 2 group. Our 3 through 5 group have been working on their acting skills. Friends, listening ears, friends, because we're going on to our 3 through 5 group. They've been working on their acting skills and working with our awesome team volunteers. I actually gave them the plays. There are 3 separate plays. I gave them to my team volunteers, and they directed the 3 through 5 groups in these plays. The very first one features 2 friends, Piggy and Gerald, that you might know, and My Friend is Sad by Mo Williams. So My Friend is Sad, friends.
Sheriff, I'm sorry. I tried to make you happy, but you were still sad. I'm not sad now. I'm happy. You are happy? I'm happy because you are here. Chloe. Look. I was so sad. Very sad. I saw a cowboy. But you love cowboys. I do love cowboys, but my friend's not there to see him. Well, But wait, there was more. I saw a clown, a funny clown, and my friend was not there to see him right now. But wait, there was more. I saw a robot, a cool robot, and my friend was not there to see him right now. But you see, I am here now. You are here now. My friend is here now. Now then, Piggy, high five. You need new glasses.
All right, our next one. Our next one is The Paper Bag Princess. And that's by Robert Munch. We're just grabbing a step stool for our narrator so that he can see the podium.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, lived two beautiful princesses, Princess Rihanna and Princess Emma. They loved being princesses, doing what princesses do. Picking flowers, wearing pretty dresses, and living in large castles. They were going to be married to their princes, Prince Ronald and Prince Down, that very weekend. Picking flowers and fruits and their wedding bouquets, all while they sang a lovely song.
Save some for your wedding day. Please don't pick them all today. For our son a song to sing. What more luck can this day bring?
Unfortunately, Donkey the dragon heard the princess's song and was very hungry. Burns castles to the ground with princesses' wedding gowns and lovely dresses, and kidnaps Princess Simran.
Princesses make yummy snacks. Raw.
Princess Rihanna, help me!
With her pretty dresses burned to ash and her magnificent castle turned to rubble, the only thing she could find to wear was a paper bag. She had to rescue her friend to make sure she married her handsome prince. She was determined and brave.
I'm gonna beat that dragon somehow and rescue my friend, even if I have to only watch. herself face to face with Princess Amaron.
Ew, yuck! Princess Brianna, your hair is a mess. You are wearing no shoes. You're covered in dirt, and you're wearing a paper bag as a dress. A princess is always supposed to look like a princess. You'll never marry a prince.
Princess ran and looked at the lovely dress her friend was wearing, and then looked at the daddy gave her beige horse dress. It was drained, burned, covered in ash and soft, and her hair looked like a bird's nest. But she knew it wasn't what she looked like. It was what she did for her friend and how brave she was to face the dragon. So she turned to her friend and said with pride, Princess Brianna, your hair is very good. Your hair is very nice. You are very lovely. But you are a bum. And the paper bag princess danced away off and married a paper bag princess for her.
Oh, wasn't that bad? All right, we have one last one for our grades 3 through 5 group, and they are going to, it's our largest group, and they were directed by Maddie, and it's the Sleeping Ugly book by Jane Yolen. Sleeping Ugly.
Princess Miserella was a
Beautiful princess. She has her eyes, nose, and mouth, all the way down to her toes.
but inside where it was hard to see, she was the meanest
Wickedest.
and most worthless.
Princess around. She liked stepping on dogs.
She kicked kittens,
She threw pies in the cook's face.
and she never, not even once, said thank you or please.
Now, in that very same kingdom, in the middle of the woods, lived a poor orphanage.
And plain she certainly was. Her hair was,
Short and turned down. Her nose was long and turned up. And even if it had been the other way around, she did not let her great beauty.
but she loved animals, and she was always kind to strange old ladies.
One day, Princess Miserella rode her horse out to the palace woods in a big car. She rode and rode and rode, looking beautiful as always.
Even with her hair in tangles, she rode right to the middle of the woods and was soon
Lost. She got off her horse and slapped sharply fingers in the way.
The horse said nothing but ran right back home.
So there was the princess, lost in a dark wood without even a horse for company. Suddenly, Princess Miserella tripped over
The little old lady is asleep under a tree. Now little old ladies who
sleep under trees in the darkness are almost always fairies in disguise.
Miserella guessed who the little old lady was, but she did not care. She kicked the old lady hard on the bottoms of her feet.
Get up and take me home, said the princess quite rudely.
So the old lady got to her feet very slowly.
Before the feet now hurt. She took Miserella by the hand. She was only one second finger on Miserella's hand. The fairies know about those princesses.
They walked and walked even deeper into the woods.
There they found a little house. It was dreary.
The floor sank,
The walls stank.
and the roof leaked, even on sunny days. But Jane made the best of it. She,
This is not my home, said Miserella with a sniff. Nor mine.
said the fairy. They walked in without knocking.
And there was Jane. It's mine.
She said sweetly.
The princess looked at Jane down and up and asked, take me home,
Said Miserella.
and as a reward, I'll make you my maid. Some reward, said the fairy to herself. Out loud, she said. If you could take both of us home, I could probably squeeze out a wish or two. Make it 3,
Said Miserella to the fairy.
and I'll get us home. Jane smiled and said,
Said Jane.
I like your For that thought, I will squeeze 3 wishes in.
Princess Miserella was not pleased. She stamped her foot.
Do that again, and I'll turn your foot.
Wait, said the fairy, taking the pine wand from her.
Alakazam.
And quick as a wink, the fairy waved her pine wand, and Miserella's foot was turned to stone.
Ah! What did you expect to happen? I like your triangle, not your. I like your rainbow, not your taste.
She said,
But still, a wish is a wish. The fairy moved the wand.
the princess shook her foot. It was no longer made of stone.
Guess my foot fell asleep for a moment, said Miserella. She really liked to lie. Besides,
The princess said,
that was a stupid way to waste a wish. Stupid? Fairy was very angry. Do not say stupid unless you've been introduced in the family or in a proper way. Stupid, stupid, stupid.
Miserella hated to be told what to do.
Stupid, say stupid one more time, and I'll make toads come out of your mouth. Stupid.
Shouted Miserella, and as she said it,
Large green toad.
dropped out of her mouth.
Aw, cute. As she stood up and picked up the toad. I do like toads, but
Asked the fairy.
Miserella did not open her mouth. Toads were among the least favorite animals. My second wish is I can keep her when I get better than that. She's lucky it was in mouth.
Mumbled the fairy. She waved her pine wand.
Miserella opened her mouth slowly, something came out of her tongue. She pointed at
Princess Miserella looked miserable. Of course, that made her look beautiful too.
I definitely have had enough, she said. I want to go home.
She grabbed Plain Jane's arm.
Gently, gently, said the old fairy, shaking her head. If you're not being gentle with magic, none of us will go home. You can go where you want,
Shouted Miserella.
but there's only one place I want to go. To sleep, shouted the fairy, who was now much too mad to remember to be gentle. She waved her wand so hard,
She hit the wall of Jane's house.
the wall broke,
The wand broke.
and a spell broke upon them.
And before Jane could make her third wish, all 3 of them were sound asleep.
It was one of those famous 100-year naps that needed a prince,
And a
kiss, and
so they slept and slept in the cottage in the woods.
they slept in 3.5 wars,
1 plague,
6 new kings.
the invention of the sewing machine, and the discovery of a new continent,
Now, at the end of the 100 years, a prince named Jojo,
who was the youngest son of the youngest son, and so had,
no gold or jewels or property to speak of.
came out of the woods. He stepped into the cottage over the broken wall. Inside he saw
3 women asleep, with spiderwebs holding them to the floor.
one of them was a beautiful princess.
Ah! Being the kind of young man who read fairy tales, Jojo knew just what to do.
But Jojo had never kissed anyone before, except his mother.
Which didn't count. And his father, who had a fuzzy beard.
So Jojo thought he should practice before he tried kissing the beautiful princess. So he puckered up his lips and kissed the old fairy on the nose.
She smelled like cinnamon. He moved on to Jane. He puckered up his lips.
And kissed her on the mouth.
Pleasant. She smelled of wild flowers.
He moved on to the beautiful princess.
Just then the fairy and Jane woke up.
Prince Jojo's kisses had worked.
The fairy picked up the pieces of her wand. Jane looked at the princess. I love them.
She said softly to herself.
Said the fairy, and she moved the 2 pieces of the wand gently.
The prince looked at Miserella, who was having a bad dream and enjoying it. Even frowning, she was beautiful. But Jojo knew about that kind of princess. She had 3 cousins just like her.
Nastina, Prunella, and Bertina. Pretty on the outside, but really ugly within. He remembered the smell of wild flowers and turned back to plain Jane. I love you. What's your name?
So they lived happily ever after in Jane's cottage.
Prince Jojo fixed the roof of the wall and built a house next door for the old fairy, just for me.
They used the sleeping princess as a conversation piece when friends came to visit.
sometimes they stir her up so fast asleep in the hallway and let her hold coats and hats.
But they never let anyone kiss her awake.
Not even their children, who numbered 3. The end.
All right. Well, I can't express how much appreciation I have for my teen volunteers this year. They helped me this summer with drama camp. This was our first year, and there was a lot to figure out. They were willing to step in and help in any way possible, from directing, helping build puppet heads, to acting in scenes with different groups. Our last group to present is the teen group, and we've got 2 parts to it. Our first teen presenter is Cammie, and she's going to be doing a monologue titled "And Turning Stay."
Warning, I am loud. Don't you dare walk away from me. And don't tell me you're sorry. And don't tell me to forget it. And don't you dare tell me to let it go. I am not Elsa. And God knows I'd like to forget it. And I wish I could, but I can't. I can't forget that we had something. And you're running away. You are running away. Don't you see, Mark? You're running away from what I've searched for my whole life. Why? Because you're scared? Well, I'm scared too. But you and I, we have something worth fighting for. We could make it work. I'm not saying it would be easy, but I care about you. And I know deep down under that bravo, you care about me too. And that's what it's all about, Mark. Don't you get it? It's human experience. And you can pretend all you want, but you're only lying to yourself. You're denying that simple and wonderful fact. You are emotional, vulnerable, and alive. You can honestly stand there and tell me I mean nothing to you? That everything that happened over this year was a lie? That you feel nothing. I feel sorry for you, Mark. I'll move on. I'll find someone else. I'll be all right because I know I tried. That I did everything I could. But someday you'll look back and you'll realize what you threw away. And you will regret it always.
All right, and then we have a scene with 4 of our teens and 3 teens and Ani, who helps out with wherever she's needed. They're going to be performing a scene from the play Leaving Iowa by Spike Manton and Tim Clue. This is a flashback scene where the main character, Don, remembers the start of one of his family's annual summer road trips in the 1970s. I had to explain why the front seat has a seat in the middle because cars today don't have that. So he's traveling in the 1970s with his sister and mother and father, and they're leaving Iowa.
Okay, leaving prairie population 1,348. 1,348, boy, it just keeps growing. So who can tell me what town's next?
Dad, you ask that every time.
Oh, really? Well then, who wants a nickel?
Hello.
That's it, sweet pea.
But Dad, I said it too.
That was close.
Dad.
Maybe next time, big guy. Maybe next time.
Don, you want to see it? No. Don.
Here, want to have it? Get your own.
Mom.
Mom, settle down.
Mom, he said he wanted to see it, and I was just showing it to him.
I don't want to hear it.
Mom, she did put the ankle close to my face and then pulled it away on her trick thing. And it's not fair.
Settle down.
Dad, it's not fair.
You want not fair? Because I can show you not fair. I can pull this car over and show you what's not fair, what's fair and what's not. No, honey. You know what's not fair? Fair isn't fair. That's what's fair when we purchased Alaska and for how much? Anyone?
Just trying to help. Well, let's leave while I'm wrong.
Yep, you're right. Boy, good kids, huh?
Little angels.
The best.
Mom, she hit me in the
Did
head.
not. Mom, he's making it up.
I don't want to hear it. Donald, will you be nice to your sister? And then please come up here right now.
No, wait. Dad, like this. Like this, Dad. See it like this.
Okay, what I say.
Mom, he's making it up. Don hit himself and then he hit me.
What?
Right here.
But Dad,
Be still.
I'm not lying. She hit me.
All right, what I say. You want something to cry about, son? I can give you something to cry about. Now sit.
But Dad,
Enough.
but
Sit.
Dad.
Sit down, son, or I'll make you sit. I will. You should be ashamed of yourself. Nobody likes a bully. So Alaska was purchased in 1867. That's right, for a paltry $7 million. Now that's a bargain. The deal was made by William H. Seward, Secretary of State. I think under...
Look, Mom, Dad, look.
Uh-oh. Slug bug.
Go ahead, Don. Slug bug.
It's okay, sweetie.
Don, slug bug.
Don't, slug bug. It's okay.
Come on, Dawn.
Yeah, come on, slug bug, Don.
Have a little
It's okay,
fun,
Dawn.
Dawn.
Ouch, Mom and Dad. I call turnout fair play. Slug bug, slug bug, slug bug.
Dad,
And lady, up here right now.
but Dad,
Sit down. I said sit.
Dad.
Serves you right, son. What I say. Nobody likes a bully.
Nobody likes the bully.
Lady.
Mom, she's a liar, pants on fire.
Enough.
But Dad,
I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Sweetie, you okay?
I guess so.
No, I swear. You don't swear. I swear, okay? I'll swear if I don't hear some reading going on in 2 seconds. 2 seconds!
No, that's a good idea.
That's right. I've got 2 good readers in this car, and I haven't heard one story yet. Not one. Not one good story yet.
Yeah, well, how about a good trip?
All right, thank you all for coming today to see what our students this year have done. Thank you to our students for all their hard work. Make sure you take your puppets home with you. And there's still lots going on this summer. If you haven't registered for summer reading, we're still doing that till August 31st. And we like